Morning, guys. So I got showered and dressed, and I'm just deciding what I'm gonna do with my hair. I got some dry patches of hair. I don't know what to do with. Look, let's just. So anyway, today I'm setting up some African night crawlers, and I'm getting ready to do that. This is exciting. I'm gonna film them. They are so gorgeous. Wait till you see them. So as usual, before I go worm farming, I have to do something with my hair because it'll get everywhere. I'll get castings everywhere. I'll get it in here. I've debated cutting it off, but I don't want to because I just look weird with short hair. I just have to do something with it. All right. What do you think? I think I'm ready. Had a lot of coffee today. I'm gonna get ready to set up 2 bins for the African night crawlers, and I'm gonna bring you in closer so that you can watch, and then we're gonna introduce the worms, and then I'm gonna show you what they do and how they look and everything. Okay, so let's get started on that. Ow. Okay, one of the first things I like to set up for African night crawlers is lots of paper. They love cardboard. They love paper. They love carbon. They love leaves. They love all the dry stuff. So I make sure I give them plenty of it because I know that this is going to make them happy. I spread it out. And this is just paper from my shredder. It's newspaper. Sometimes I'll do boxes, whatever I have on hand. So then now we need to add some kind of grit. I'll take you along as I add ingredients. So in here, I have a grit, which is oyster shell. Sometimes I grind it, sometimes I don't. It ends up dissolving in the bins anyway. I have some dolomite lime in here, and I have some azomite minerals, which is this powdery stuff. So I give it a good mix in my hands. Then I just sprinkle. Make sure I get it in there because they're going to love this. Keeps them healthy. I'm doing really well. So now let's see what else I'm going to add. So we're going to add a little bit of straw. If I had pine shavings, I would, but I told you I ran out. I haven't gone to Tractor Supply to pick some up. That's where I get it. Just mix it all in. The water that I use to water these bins is mosquito dunk water. It's water that's been soaked with mosquito dunks. So it helps to control, those flying insects. All right. Next ingredient. So I have 1 brick of coconut coir in each bin. And I'm going to start adding the mosquito dunk water. This stuff is going to soak up water like you won't believe. It drinks water like I have never seen. But they love it. It's great for them. They eat it like you won't believe. They go through it like, wow. When I add water to my African nightcrawler bins, guys, I never add ice cold water because you got to think about it. They're cold sensitive. So ice cold water will probably shock them. Could even kill them. Who knows? I've never done it. I don't like to for that reason. I'm just going to wet down paper. I mean, all the water is going to be absorbed by the bricks anyway. So now I give it a little bit of time for that to soak. All right, let me see how they're doing. Oh, this is a little crooked. There we go. It just comes apart. Another little trick, when you want to break up coconut coir like faster, use hot water. It works so much faster when you use hot water. And see, there's still standing water down here, so this is going to continue to soak it up. Look how much water I added, and this stuff is still. But, you know, it takes a little bit. That's why it's important to prepare your worm bedding before you get your worms, before they arrive. Like, the minute you order, start preparing, because us worm farmers usually ship priority. Even though lately I've been seeing some of them ship standard shipping, and I'm wondering how that's working out. So, just going to break this up as much as I can and just wait a little longer. So on my other worm channel, the Worm Lady 2, I'm bringing back my Woodstock bin. So for those of you that are new, Woodstock bin is a bin where I usually have 4 different species of worms living together, but I can't find one of the species right now. One of my friends who raises them doesn't have any. So I'm going to do 3 different species of worms living together. And that's why I call it Woodstock, because everyone's like happy and they all live in harmony in there. And you'll see when I set it up, I'll post that video. So if you're not subscribed to that channel, it's the Worm Lady 2. And you'll find me there. So stay tuned for that. So I'm just going to keep mixing. Now, if I add too much water, let's say the coconut coir absorbs all of this and there's still water at the bottom, I just add a little more bedding and it'll just soak it all up, especially like cardboard for African night crawlers, because they will eat it up. I also like the way coconut coir smells. It smells different than peat moss. Peat moss has a different odor to it. I can't explain it. I just don't like it. And those of you that have hermit crabs, coconut coir is great to put in your hermit crab enclosure. And that's another thing that in the future I'll show you, because I love hermit crabs. Hermit crabs could also eat worm castings. They love it. So yeah, this is going to still absorb. So we're just going to give this a little more time. I have to check on the clock. Today is the day. So you all excited for spring? Can't wait to get my potatoes in the ground. The garden will be a little bit of a challenge this year for me, but it's all right. I'm just going to do the best I can, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to think about anything else. And my fires. I love to do fires outside, like by my fire pit, and cook out there. So hopefully you'll come with me for some of those things. I love those type of videos. I love watching people cook outside, and I love doing it. They are gonna love this bedding. They're gonna be like, yay. And I'm gonna keep them here under the big light, and hopefully that'll discourage them from wanting to explore. So if you guys want African night crawlers, I have them on my website, thegardenandwormlady.com. Yeah. So I wish I could sell, like, the more you buy, the cheaper it is. But for a worm farm my size, where I'm just like a home, worm farmer, I can't afford to do that. Because the bigger the quantity, the more it costs me to raise them and to keep them and to, just feed them and, Those are those giant worm farms that can do that, that have hundreds of acres. And, you know, and believe me, I have nothing against the giant worm farms because a lot of them supply my stuff. And I am truly grateful to them. All right. I'm going to let this sit a little longer. And we will be back. All right, I went to take a break and pack an order. Let me fix this a little bit. Let me check and see. You see, a lot of the water is already just absorbed. Yeah. So you would ask me how many worms do I put in one of these? Well, African night crawlers, when I raise them in containers like this or a bucket, I usually put about 50 worms. But with these, I'm gonna put a little more because I just want to see what happens. Plus, I'm probably gonna have a spring sale on them, so you guys could get them. And my goal is to ship them through the winter, but not the entire winter, but we'll see. I don't know. I might take a chance and just see what happens. This is good. It's ready to go. I like to smooth it out. Let me do this side a little. This one still has some water at the bottom, but I put a little bit more shredded newspaper in here so it can absorb it. Remember, worms love moisture, and if you put too much water, they can drown. So they breathe through their skin, but they love being wet. You got to find that perfect balance, you know. At least ideal balance for them. Will your wormery run perfectly? No. My gosh, have I ran into problems like you will not believe. But you know, I just deal with them as they come and just do my best. All right, so these are ready for the African night crawlers. All right. So while I wait for the bedding to absorb, I'm just gonna take a break. Where is my drink? Let me get my drink so that I could take a break and give my knee a little rest, which I've been doing good. I haven't been pushing it. So the worm colony idea was not my original idea. I never take someone's idea and say it's mine, because that's just wrong. Actually, there's a worm farmer. He's a biologist. His name is Bentley Christie. And he came up with it. And when you really think about it, like, I think it's a genius idea. And I've sold them, and people like them. So basically, after your babies, okay, this is how you do it. And after I did this, I noticed a lot of other worm farmers started doing it too. And I don't care that people copy me. I take it as a compliment. So, because I think, well, I must be doing something right. So what you do is you set up your breeders, you know, they lay cocoons, and you wait the 21 days or sometimes a little more depending on your temperature. Remember, we talked about that. Once they start hatching, you start seeing those little babies. Instead of waiting for them to grow up in your wormery, people want like the bedding with the babies in it and the microbial life and just everything in it. So they're worm colonies. So what I do is I sell it like by the pound. So I'll take my hand into that bedding, that tray that has the hatched babies in it, and I just scoop it up. I can't tell you how many worms are in there because they're all little, and who knows, you know, there's tons. And there's cocoons in there that I'm sure that I'm not going to take the time to harvest because that is a lot of work. Plus, it's part of the colony. It has springtails in it. It has microbes. It just has everything that the worm bin should have. And I take that and I ship it. And then people put it in their worm bins or gardens or whatever, and you just start watering it down and feeding it. I usually include a sample pack of my worm chow just to get you started, and there it is. And you know, it's a really cheap way to get your worms sold out of your wormery, because of course my problem is having a lack of room, and it gives people a chance to not pay the $55-$65 a pound for worms, and it'll get you started. I got messages from people, V, you're giving it away. I know. But I want people to have the opportunity to raise worms that can't afford $65 a pound of worms. Red wigglers, pure red wigglers that have no blues in them. And I know mine have no blues in them. Right now, the market is going for $70 a pound. It's a lot of money for worms, especially in today's market. But I know people pay it because people want the pure stock, which I understand. When I first started worm farming, I had pure stock. There was a little old man in he was so sweet. He was in Conroe, Texas. And this is when I lived in Texas. And he gave me my first red wigglers, and they were the biggest, fattest red wigglers I have ever seen in my life. Till this day, and I've been worm farming 22 years, I have never seen red wigglers that big again. How he raised them, how he got them that big, I don't know. He took it to his grave. No idea how he did it. But that's when, you know, I fell in love with red wigglers then, and I'm like, wow, I gotta do this. I have to do this. And then, of course, then I went on to European night crawlers once I had a little more experience. Then I went on to African night crawlers. I raised Louisiana swamp worms. They call them swampers in the South. Those are fun worms. They look just like a red wiggler. Exactly. Except, you know, they're color, they're like a little dark maroon. But they do the same thing as a red wiggler. I tried to get some from someone that I know that has them, but he is sold out because I wanted to get just some to put in my Woodstock bin just to show you. I have raised them and sold them. But I just wanted to get some to put in the Woodstock bin to show you. And I can't get them. So anyway, maybe he'll have them down the road. Then I'll include them in Woodstock. But Woodstock is another thing that I raised several species of worms in there, and people have asked me to sell the colony from that, because can you imagine the value of one scoop that has like African night crawlers, European night crawlers, red wigglers, no blues, babies in there. The last time I sold my contents from the Woodstock bin, I had them on my website for half an hour. And I know someone in Georgia who bought, he immediately saw, he's like, I want them, I want them, I want them. He started texting me because he's a friend of mine. How you doing, Damien? I haven't heard from you. How's Vanessa? So anyway, he got them immediately. He wanted them because he knew the value of them. So Woodstock will be back, and I'm working on that now. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that. But anyway, press that subscribe button and watch the videos through. I know Peggy lets all my commercials play,
because she knows that it gives me income. And you know, YouTube adds the commercials. Like, I never know where they're gonna put them. Sometimes I can control that. Most of the time I can't. So, but that's how we make money, you know. My YouTube income goes entirely to my wormery. Because supplies are expensive, guys. Like the 3 cubic yard of peat moss, years ago it was like $6. I know, can you believe that? Then it was $12. I'm like, okay. And last year I paid $27 for one of those 3 cubic squares of peat moss. And I ran out in the winter because I forgot to stock in the fall. And where I live, all the garden centers close and everything closes, so I couldn't get peat moss. I had to go on Amazon and get a 3 cubic yard. It cost me $40. I was so mad. I was like, oh my gosh. But what am I gonna do? My worms need it. So that's why worm farmers charge a lot for worms and are charging for shipping, because the prices of everything is just killing us. I need everything to go back down. Come on, we need to go cheaper again. So that's what's up here. So, oh, okay. So some people have asked me what a worm colony is when I sell it. So basically, this is my tray. Oh gosh, I'm covered in casties. This is my tray of red wiggler babies, right? So I uncover them and I just fed them. So that's a worm colony right there, where I'll sell a pound of it and I'll just go like this. And whatever's included in here, whether I sell it by the cup, the weight, or, you know, whatever it is what I ship. It has the baby worms in it. I never know how many because they're so tiny. You can't count them. It has cocoons in it, if there's any cocoons there. It has all the microbial life that the worm bin has that I've been able to develop while raising them. So, and you know, I'm able to sell that at a really great price. It's a great way to get started on a worm farm. But you have to have patience, obviously, because they need to grow up. So it's a good thing to get started with. So you have to have patience because they need time to grow up and the cocoons to hatch. And people love this product because they don't have to spend $55 on a pound of worms when they can just get a little bit of it and just wait until they hatch and grow up, you know, maintain it, obviously. So I call it the affordable way to worm farm. So guys, these are African night crawlers. You can tell by their dark skin, and when you look at them in a certain light, you can see a luminescence. It's kind of strange. Looks like a purple green light, but look how dark they are. And they're young, and even for young worms, they're still an amazing size. I've had African night crawlers go from here to here in size. So we're going to set these up. And if you want African night crawlers, you can go to my website and you will find them there. They are gorgeous, gorgeous worms. Okay, I'm pointing the camera down so you guys could see. These are my African night crawlers. They're in peat moss. They're gorgeous. So I'm going to set them up here, and I'm going to set them up here. So basically, if I were to breed these in buckets, I would put about 50 worms in each bucket. Let me bring you closer. I mean, look at this. They are gorgeous and they're dark. I love them. And these are young. And even for them being young, they're still a great size worm. But these worms are cold sensitive. I've had them grow from here all the way up to here. So they're pretty pissed at me because I've been messing with them. So I'm just going to start putting them in their bin. And just take a bundle. Just go like this. Look, it's like strings of spaghetti. Let me see if I could adjust this camera. That's probably better. So yeah, they look like spaghetti. So here's more of them. Just put them over here. You know, I used to weigh them and everything, but I stopped doing that a long time ago. It was time consuming. So my goal is to get them in there. They're nice looking worms though, I will say that. So if you guys want them, they're on the website. You gotta go get them. Now they're kind of mad at me. So when they're mad at me, they ball up like this. Why is my phone so crooked? There we go. I'll bring you in for a closer look. See them all? That's nice. Oh, I dropped one. Oh, I have a hard time bending down because of my knee. So that's about all I'm going to put in here because I'm going to save the rest for Woodstock. And wait till you see Woodstock. Right now, I'm just going to let them settle in. They're a little stressed out because I've been messing with them. You know, they can be a little moody sometimes, especially when you're messing with them because, well, you know, that's their home. Understandable. So far, they're all behaving. They are all behaving, so I'm going to cover them in wet paper. First, I'm going to feed them some chow, cover them in paper, and then I'm going to leave them alone for a while. So there they are. They're set up, both of them here. I'm going to keep the light on. I'm going to keep an eye on them, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. So here they are. They're going down, and look, what did I tell you? There's always one. There's always some that just want to do what they want. So what I do is I just take them. Oh my gosh, look how long that worm is. Let me see. Let me put it on my arm. Wow. That is a huge African night crawler. So let's put him in there. And I just keep a close eye, you know, and make sure they're going down. Any stragglers, I just go like that. I try to discourage them. I go down here. Down here, they seem pretty tame. So I just stick around, you know. I stick around just to make sure they're okay. I mean, they are gorgeous worms. These worms are, they're really nice. Look at them. Wow. That is a gorgeous African nightcrawler right there. I wonder if I could catch the luminescence. It's the strangest thing. Like, you'll see it. It's like bluish, purplish. So what do you think, guys? I think they're beautiful. So anyway, I hope you learned something. As usual, set up your African nightcrawlers. Make sure you stick around for the day. Don't be afraid to try them out. They're amazing worms. And press that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Take care.